first of all, I'm very proud of these guys. Just the way they competed in the game and overcame adversity. I'm not happy about the situation we put ourselves in, and sometimes in opening games though, you never know. But what I do know is they got a bunch of competitors that care about each other and fight. Now, again, my hat's off. Ole Miss is a heck of a football team. That was two very good football teams out there that played a hard-fought game, and there's a lot of guys that stepped up and made goals, and made plays, and it was a fun game to coach in when it was all over with. It was very exhausting while we did it, but that's what college football is about. This opening weekend is that. But we can say one thing about our kids: they're competitive, and Ole Miss has great kids. They fought and battled right back and made it a heck of a game. So that's what it's about. But it's only one game, guys. One game. We got so much room to improve. We have so much stuff. Penalties. I mean, silly penalty. I hate to even look. What we were. What was how many penalties we have? How many? 15. Thank you, James. You're lovely. But I mean, that's ridiculous. But the thing we didn't have was a turnover, which I was very proud of that. We took care of the football. But we can't do that. But opening games, you hope we improve the first, the second, the third. We got a lot of work to do, but if we do that, we have a chance. We have a chance to compete with people. So we got a heck of a schedule, so we better get better quick. But saying all that, this one's over with. Time to move on. Thank you.
All right, we'll open up the Q&A once again. Please find the microphone.
I gotta make it through. You go. You look like us the first time. What we got?
Coach, talk about DeAndre's performance. Surprised on baseball.
No, I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have. There was a couple times that he got a little shook and on the sideline, but the thing about it, he bounced back, and that's what he did in practice. Even in practice, we challenged him. As I know, I put the heat on him sometimes in practice. But he is a kid who loves his team. His teammates believe in him, and he's a fighter. He's a competitor, which I'm very proud of. But at the end of the day, it's one game. Now we got to get better. Move on.
Coach, about DeAndre, the pass at the end of the first half where he took the hit and delivered the ball, how big of a play was that?
The drive at the end of the first half was critical. It got us back to a 2-score game. No matter how bad you played, you're 2 possessions away from getting back in front. And then no one having the ball coming out the second half. And I think the confidence, and I'm going to tell you now, when you stand there and deliver one of them, you realize this is college football, and your teammates, that's when those teammates respect you. When they see you standing there and take those shots and, don't duck and winch away. And I thought it was tremendous, and I thought it was a drive of the game that gives us a chance to come back in the game. Now, and I'll say this now, our defense was outstanding in the second half. I mean, first half, they had their thing. But that defense, after they felt us getting a surge on offense, they swarmed now. They created turnovers, they created sacks, they created havoc. And then there was 2 young kickers that did a pretty good job tonight. There was another Aguayo who made every field goal, the punting and the kickoffs. Those guys had a big night. You got to remember now, you had 2 freshman kickers, punter and a kicker and a kickoff guy with a freshman quarterback. That's there ain't many. I'm gonna tell you, I made some sleepless nights. I promise you that.
The touchdown pass there at the end of the half just seemed to snap something in your team, something clicked. Why do you think that is?
I think it's what you keep chopping, you keep sewing. When you're in a heavyweight fight, man, when you're going to take shots. People are going to hit you. You know that. You just got to have the willingness to come back, and all of a sudden you start to say, man, I hit this. We got a rhythm, and I'm 2 plays away from getting back in this game. It creates the competition in the atmosphere. And the way they practice against each other is kind of the way the offense will dominate, then the defense will dominate. They'll go back and forth, and that's why we practice like we do. But I think it just gives them hope. And then they realize that they could go do this, and then we had the ball coming out, and that's what we talked about. Keep chopping. Just keep chopping away. That tree's will eventually fall.
Jimbo, the middle of that field was wide open.
I'm sorry?
I said, Jimbo, the middle of the field was wide open in the first half. Not the second half of that Ole Miss offense. What was the adjustment?
Well, our alignments. Big thing, we changed some coverages a little bit, but we got it lined up. See, as crazy as this sounds, alignment, assignment, technique. Line up in the right place. If you're a foot wide, 2 foot wide, you give bad angles. And football is about angles. It's a low to high game. It's created with angles. And as soon as you lose an angle, the guy gets on top of you, he can expose you. And that's what we're doing. Our alignments were better. We got our guys in position. They were making the reads. Their eye discipline got better, and it made it tougher to throw the ball in the middle of the field. Then their assignments and technique got better.
Jimbo, going back to DeAndre, I know you kind of talked about what you see from him in practice and whatnot, but what was kind of the worry coming in? Because it's one thing to do it in practice with a script, but it's another to actually do it in a game with a live defense coming at you.
Well, not just that, but the poise of the game and feeling the pressure if you're behind like you was, bringing it back and not trying to get greedy. You know what I'm saying? The thing I was so proud about, even though we got behind, that he kept playing the plays and just taking what they give him. He didn't force things down the field, you know what I'm saying? And say, I got to go make it up all at once. And he showed a lot of maturity that way, composure, to just keep, and trusting his teammates, and his teammates kept trusting him. And that was the one thing this group never broke. What I'm saying is they kept trusting each other and playing for the guy beside them, and they just kept playing at one play at a time, and like I said, it kept sawing away until they got a chance to get back in.
Coach, for those of us that can't wait till Tuesday, can you tell us what you said to your team at halftime tonight?
No. You got to bleep, 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 bleep. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, it's bad. I think Showtime's got it on there. I'm not going to say. We challenge them. Listen, one thing we're going to do, we're going to compete. I'm not going to play guys that don't compete. I'm not built that way. I wasn't wired that way. And we just want to we got our minds made up at halftime. We're going to compete in the game in the second half and do things the right way. There, that's the way I said it. Nice.
Coach, what's a win like this do for the ACC?
Just gives you credit. I've been saying the whole time we have great credibility. That was a very good Ole Miss team, and we make so much about these conferences, and it's good. It's like my side. Listen, they're a good team. We're a good team. We both have good conferences. I've been telling y'all that. Now y'all write all your stories and do all your who you predict and all that stuff. There's good football in the ACC. There's good football in the SEC. There's good football in the Big 12. But it gives us that and a recognition that we can play with those guys. And we've always said it. And in Florida State, we feel like we can play with anybody.
Coach, last week during game prep, you were talking about DeAndre Francois and his role as a game manager, how that's not a bad title, but DeAndre also broke off 30-yard runs now. Are we seeing the game manager or the playmaker, or a combination of the two tonight?
A game manager is a playmaker. That's what I keep trying to tell you. Everybody says Tom Brady and Peyton Manning's the two best game managers in the history of football, with Joe Montana and Johnny Unitas. They manage situations and they take what's there. When the legs let them run, they run. When they throw the slant, they throw the slant. When they throw the go, they throw the go. Everybody puts game manager as a tag that means you can't play. That's not true. And playmakers don't mean that you're wild. You know what I'm saying? But what I loved about him, he managed the game, and when the opportunities were there for him to make plays, he did. And to me, that's the key. That's what playing quarterback is. Managing the game, taking what they give you. You can't, listen, I can't throw a wide open post if there's two safeties back there. I got to check it down, go to the next play and play. That's called a game manager, but it's also called making plays. And he made them with his feet and his arms. But more importantly, he made them with his mind. And that's the key to playing quarterback.
Jimbo, you had a drive in the third quarter where you went on a long touchdown drive with Dalvin on the sideline. How much confidence does it give this offense that you don't have to rely on him?
It's great. I mean, like I say, what did he have? What did he end up on 91 yards, and he caught a bunch of balls, didn't he? He had 100 yards. He had 200 yards of offense, and you felt and we just feel like he wasn't there. I mean, think about it now. How good is that? And it shows you his versatility, what he can do, what he is, but it also gives you that there's a lot of other playmakers on this football team, and a football team, to be a great football team, you have to do that. You're going to have to spread the ball out, and people are going to take him away. That's why the emergence of a lot of those young receivers caught balls, our tight ends caught balls. It was big.
On the left,
Coach, with Dalvin, did you touch base with him on what happened on the fumble? Was it trying to switch hands there?
Nah, it just slipped out of his hand. I just shows you. Surprised me too. I mean, but that's just what happened. That's ball, and we kicked a field goal on that drive because then we dropped a touchdown or two right after that. I mean, we had opportunity. But that's a great sign of this team. They just kept playing, and things happen. You got to move on.
Like pulled up on his hamstring there in the last drive?
No, he was tired. Ankles banged up. I mean, what do you have? 23 carries and 7 catches and touched it 30 times. It's a hot night. He's fine.
But what does Demarcus Walker mean in this defense?
Wow.
How big is he?
Then he had 4.5 sacks in the second half, something like that. I'm going to tell you what, Demarcus Walker loves ball, and let me tell you what he does. He loves playing ball. He loves being a teammate. He loves being a leader. He loves razzing me. He loves about everything. I mean, he just creates an energy among this team that is a genuine love to be good. You know what I'm saying? And he puts his heart and soul into everything he does. It matters to him. It's fun to watch play, fun to watch practice.
Jimbo, Matthew Thomas made his return to the defense tonight, and had 7 tackles, was second leading tackler on the team. What did he mean for you guys tonight?
I'll tell you what, when that guy relaxed, this guy's going to be special, man. He got a chance to be really good. You seen him flash, he can play in space, he can cover, he can blitz. You ain't even seen everything yet. But I mean, this guy has a chance to be a heck of a football player and be a difference maker. And I'm very proud and happy because he's been through a lot of things in his life, man. You talk about perseverance and tough. and just a heck of a kid. I mean, deep down, that's one of the best kids I've ever been around in my life. Very smart kid, great character, and just keeps fighting and scratching and clawing, and extremely proud and happy for him.
Two more for Coach Fisher.
Jimbo, you talked about this momentum swing in the third quarter. How big was that to come out after halftime and make some noise on defense and capitalize on it?
Well, it was. You got to score at the end of the half, got to score there, they got a turnover, and that's why we don't. I say that all the time. You hear me say in my press conference. Momentum's something that we don't talk about in sports enough. We all want the reasons why, but once momentum swings, sometimes it just goes. It takes a heck of a group of kids to turn it back, and we were able to do it on our side, and we kept it enough on our side. They almost come back and had a big drive to go back up. They got a heck of a team, but momentum is critical, and then you got to find ways. That's where you go back to your training and trust. You got to trust each other, have a system, and go back to the basics, and don't worry about the outcomes. And it's hard to change momentum, and we got it and kept it.
Coach, with Derwin, seeing Derwin get his first career reception, just kind of was you and everything you were hoping you would be back on surgery coming up injury.
Who'd you say?
Derwin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Derwin is great. I mean, Derwin's one of the best football players, man. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough good things about him. And I'm going to tell you this, you talk about a teammate and a leader, too, who is a team guy, not an individual. Unbelievable. I mean, you'll just see the surface of what he can do.
All right, thank you, Coach. And once